The Rebbe writes in a Maimer that the Gemara says that when the Yidden said Nasah v'Nishma, the angels came and gave every Jew two ksurim, two crowns, one for Nasah and one for Nishma. The Rebbe asks a fascinating question. The Gemara says, B'shah shehegdimu Nasah l'Nishma, when the Jews put Nasah before Nishma, the angels came and gave each Jew two crowns, one for Nasah and one for Nishma. So the Rebbe says, wait a minute. The reason was because they said Nasah and Nishma? Or is the reason because they put the Nasah before the Nishma? Obviously, it's because they put the Nasah before the Nishma. Then the Rebbe's question is, then why aren't there three crowns? One for the Nasah, one for the Nishma, and an even bigger one for putting the Nasah before the Nishma. It's an amazing question. What happens when you put Nasah before the Nishma? What happens is you didn't just change the order of things. When you put the Nasah before the Nishma, it's a completely different Nasah and a completely different Nishma. The main difference is if you say Nasah, there will be times when you will show a preference for one mitzvah over the other. Yeah, you're going to do them both. You're going to do everything. But you're going to enjoy the mitzvahs that make sense a lot more than you enjoy the mitzvah that doesn't make sense. In order to do all the mitzvahs equally, you have to put the Nasah before the Nishma, and then the Nasah is a completely different Nasah. Then you not only have Mesiras Nefesh for Avodah Zarah and for Shrichas Damim, and you will have Mesiras Nefesh for not shaving your beard. The Nasah will be just as intense over Mayim Achreinim as over Shabbos. But if you don't put the Nasah first, you will do it all. But there will be differences. Some mitzvahs you'll do with devotion, some mitzvahs you'll do just Kabbalah soil. So when you put the Nasah before the Nishma, it's a different Nasah. And then the same is with the Nishma. Ordinarily, the Nishma sees distinctions. Like what we're discussing. The Gemara makes sense. The Eibishter doesn't make sense. So I understand the Gemara, I don't understand the Eibishter. When you put the Nasah before the Nishma, what motivates that? Why do you put the Nasah before the Nishma? Because what you're reacting to is not the Rotzen, but the Baal HaRotzen. So if you want to have another mucker in Chassidus, the Rotzen is great. It's a Rotzen Elyon, Rotzen Poshet. It's amazing. It's awesome. But it's not the real thing. The real thing is if you put the Nasah before the Nishma, because before you know what the Rotzen is, you're already saying yes to the Baal HaRotzen. We receive the Torah because we put the Nasah before the Nishma. So what does it mean to respond to the Baal HaRotzen? It's like saying, I know what is wanted, but who wants? When you respond to the Rotzen, then you're saying Naseh. I will do what is wanted. When I find out what is wanted. Putting the Naseh before the Nishma means I'm not going to do what is wanted. I'm going to do what the Baal HaRotzen wants. So before I know what the Rotzen is, I'm already saying yes. Not because of what he wants, but because he wants. Now you come along and tell me he doesn't really want. Thank you very much. Now, the Rebbe asks another question. Where is where is the third crown? The answer is the angels came and gave every Jew 2 crowns. The third crown God wears himself. The third crown comes from putting the Nasah before the Nishma. That's our gift to him. So that crown he wears. Then when we do the Nasah and we do the Nishma, we get 2 crowns, one for Nasah, one for Nishma. How can you take that out of Judaism and still call it Judaism? We say in the davening on Yom Kippur, don't do it for our sake, do it for your own sake. This is a serious prayer, a serious request. No, it's just a metaphor. Come on. It's embarrassing. You know, when a student asks, can you prove to me that the Torah is true? Okay, fine. You're talking to Orthodox rabbis, and they're saying, where is the proof that the Torah is true? Bring me a text. Show me where it says. Painful. Like when a yeshiva bacher says, how do I know any of this is true? It's hard to hear from a yeshiva bacher. It's a nice conversation if it's a college student. But when the same question comes out of a yeshiva bacher, it's like, oh, no, don't tell me you need this conversation. You went to yeshiva and you have this question. It's painful. Then when it's not even a yeshiva bacher, it's a Rosh Yeshiva. David HaMelech says, who said to him, college students? He wouldn't cry over that. The Rosh Yeshiva said, and that made him cry. The Shechina is in Golus, even in the yeshiva. Person says, we don't know. We don't know. We can't know. You can't know whether he really wants the mitzvah or not. So you assume with absolute certainty that he doesn't. Where's the consistency here? Like the rabbi who argued, I mean, you have to admit that there are things you don't understand. You can't understand everything, right? Yeah, there are things I don't understand. See? So he doesn't really want your mitzvah. So no, I don't understand. How are you drawing this conclusion from not understanding? Since I don't understand, then it's just as likely that he needs the mitzvah as not. So you assume that he doesn't. I assume he does. Who's right? I don't know. But I'm a little curious why you prefer to believe that he doesn't. Why are people so happy, eager to believe that he does not care? There's a mentality behind it. It's not just one issue. Why do you prefer a God who doesn't need you? And what about all the inconsistency? He doesn't need you. He doesn't care. He doesn't have emotions. He doesn't feel. He doesn't react. He doesn't respond, but he will reward you. Oh, really? I think that's also a metaphor. He's not going to reward you. He says that to make you think, yeah, but he's not going to. And he's not going to punish you. How do you decide what to take literally and what not to? let's approach it from a complete thing, whether Hashem needs your mitzvahs or not. Tell me, what what exactly is Torah? Where does Torah come from? What is Torah? It's part of creation. When God created the world, He created rules about how the world should be behaving. What exactly is Torah? The user's manual for creation? Instructions on how human beings should behave? So what does it mean? Alpayim shana kodma Torah la'olam. What does it mean? V'haya etzle shashuyim. What does it mean? Rechava mini yom. Arucha me'eretz mida urechava mini yom. It's greater, it's endless, it's God's pleasure. And what does it mean? What is Torah? Is there a part of Hashem that is higher than Torah? Is there part of Hashem that is free of Torah? At what point or in which level did Hashem create the Torah? And the same question is true about the Yid. What does it mean that the neshama is a chelek elokah mima'al mamish? When was this chelek created? Of course, the answer is, if it's a chelek elokah, it was not created. It's him. The nefesh habahamis is a created soul. The nefesh elikiz is creator, not creation. Torah is the blueprint of creation. It's the creator, not the creation. So where did Torah begin? Torah doesn't begin, just like Hashem doesn't begin. That's what it means, Torah's emes. Emes means it always was and it always will be. This attitude that Hashem doesn't really need your mitzvah, well, then Torah started at some point where it became necessary. Wasn't always, and it won't always be. Someday Hashem will change it. Mitzvahs b'telos. So it's not only a question of how do you not know Hashem. It's what do you think Torah is? The Torah that you study day and night. What do you think you're studying over there? Your ticket to heaven? So it's not even a theological question. The debate is not only about Hashem. Whatever you say about him is going to affect what you think of Torah, what you think of Yidden. All of creation once wasn't. You can't say that about Torah. Torah once wasn't, then it's not emes.